We're on your side trying to help you with a money decision that includes when to decide to retire. Doing it at the right time can kind of be like Run DMC. It's tricky because you want to make sure that you have enough money and assets to last. Joining us to try to help you strike that balance, financial expert Marshall Clay with the Welch Group. Good to see you this morning.
Hey, good to see you, Mike.
We have a lot to get through here that's going to help you, so let's dive into it real quickly. You say for retiring on good terms. Well, that's always important.
Right, and I think, it's not just the financial aspect. I think whether we want to believe it or not, a lot of our identity is wrapped up in our job. And so when you're thinking about retiring, I think there's a non-financial aspect of this where you really need to develop the post-retirement plan. What are you going to do on a day-to-day basis? And I always challenge all my clients, hey, I want you to write down what a normal day looks like or a normal month is going to look like after you retire. And if you have trouble doing that, then you may want to rethink going into retirement when you're thinking about doing. And I think that also, particularly if you're a business owner, I think it's really important to develop that that business succession plan early, because when you're talking about either transferring it to a family member or internal transfer to employee, or maybe even considering a third-party sale, what you want to do is you want to leave a good legacy behind. You don't want to leave a mess that when you walk away, the business that you worked your entire life just falls apart because you didn't do any prior planning.
We've seen that happen to some sports franchises that have made the news. All right, retire to something, not from something. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think, like I said, I think you've got to have that post-retirement plan. You have to have that plan sort of laid out and actually write down these things. Don't just think, oh, when I retire, I'll figure it out from there. I think people that are most unhappy are the ones that don't actually think through that dynamic before they launch into it.
If you have a business and the succession plan you're talking about, what do you mean by internal transfer and external transfer?
So an internal transfer would be transferring it to a key employee, not necessarily a family member, but somebody, a right-hand person that's been with you for a long period of time, who's got a lot of experience. And then an external transfer would be saying, look, I don't have a family member or an internal member to transfer this business to. I need to go sell this business to a completely separate third party. And so then the last point I wanted to make, and we see this a lot with professional athletes, is don't overstay your welcome. So a lot of times, you've got to get to the point where you're a little bit honest with yourself and understand that maybe your productivity is starting to decline and maybe it's time to step away. Now, I know there's some financial aspects of this, and there's a lot of people, there's exceptions to this rule. There's a lot of older people that are doing great work. We've seen this with politicians. So we see this in the professional class, and I think what it can
football coaches.
Yeah, football coaches. And I think what you can see is a lot of resentment building up where you have these older professionals that stay on too long. It prevents the younger folks from sort of moving up, and it can create a lot of resentment. So just being aware, being a little bit self-aware about the productivity that you're bringing to the table, and maybe stepping away at the right time is really important.
All right, a lot of important economic reports coming out very soon, so I'm sure Marshall will be following up with that in our next segment. Thank you so much, Marshall.
Thank you.
All right.